Taking you guys on this history trip of mine, because I've lived a lot of history and I've seen a lot of nonsense to go on. Anyway, I had mentioned before in one of my videos that I had several incidents or several confrontations with or situations with law enforcement. Some were not bad, some were uncalled for, and some were my fault. This is the first one that I recall. As I said, I think I only recall 7 times that I've actually had a confrontation or a situation with the police. This was the first one that I recall. It was in 1970. I was going through high school, and in order to go to this particular high school that I went to, we had to take 2 buses. The first one from my residence to downtown LA, to downtown Detroit, and then from the edge of downtown over to where my school was. So anyway, as I was at the light, waiting for the light to change, there was a group of people standing there already, and for some reason, I guess since no cars were coming, they decided to cross the street against the red, and I followed right behind them. So, yeah, it was not an issue, even though we all saw, or should have seen, a white police officer across the street. We were all black, and there was a white police officer just standing there at the edge of the building across the street. As soon as we got across the street, he asked us all to stop. And he asked me to stand up against the wall, and while he talked to the others that were in the group together. I couldn't hear what was said. I didn't know what transpired. I just saw him write them a ticket. So I was prepared. I was getting a ticket. That was it. I was obviously in the wrong. There are laws against jaywalking, and I knew that. This wasn't new to me. But so I was prepared for it. So he came over to me afterwards, and he asked me my name. I told him. He asked me, did I know what I did? I told him yes. I understood. I crossed the street against the light, and I shouldn't have. And he asked me where was I going, and I told him I was on my way to school. And he asked me what was the name of the school, and I told him. It was Cass Technical High. And he said, look, I'm not going to write you a ticket this time, but don't jaywalk. This is, you know better than that. And I said, yes, sir, I'm terribly sorry. I will make sure it never happens again. He said, well, just see that you do. Now, this was a white police officer. And I have no idea why he gave me a warning and he gave the others a ticket. What do you think?